Nithyanandam Paramahamsa Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganashirasham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam. Hi, this is Ma Nitya Ovyananda. Today I wanted to share an important series with you, the Upanishads. Back in 2015, on January 1st, Swamiji began his commentary on these beautiful sacred scriptures written thousands of years ago by the ancient rishis. Basically, the ancient rishis downloaded these amazing words and revealed the deeper truths of consciousness with us, with the whole planet Earth. So I'd like to share some of these because they're very important in expanding you, because just hearing the words and even the chanting itself and hearing the commentary, it'll open up something new inside of you. The sacred shastras, the sacred scriptures in Hinduism have power, and they are made to create that space in you for listening and for opening up to the consciousness that lives inside you. So the more you hear these great truths, the more you internalize those words, the more you open up to the consciousness, which is what you really are. So when Swamiji spoke the first time, he said this is what he said. He said, this expression will be called as Living Advaita Series. I'm not going to interpret. I am just going to intercept the conversations of the rishis as they happened and present it to all of you. So during that year, he did that. And it took at least 2 months. There were so many things he had to say just about the Upanishads themselves. So I wanted to share that with you also before we go into the first Upanishad that we learned from Swamiji, which is the Ishavasya Upanishads. So we started out with the Shanti Mantra. So I'll do that now. I'll share that with you. And then I'll go into what Swamiji has said regarding these source books of Hinduism. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. As I mentioned in some of my other videos, Sanskrit is not a dead language. Every day in our Sangha and in our rituals, we chant the sacred mantras. And in many places, there are still communities in India that use Sanskrit as their daily language. It is a very powerful language in which each syllable directly reverberates in the cosmos, which is reflected in our inner space. So it's not empty words. Every word has a beautiful meaning and a beautiful importance and vibration in the earth and in the body. So the first Upanishads, Swamiji speaks about how the original source of complete completion, that is the Upanishads. And he describes how living Advaita means realizing you are the whole. So we are the whole. We're one with the whole. We're not broken or separated or divided. That realization of complete completion, even with the past, can only be given by the Upanishads. Because such deep understandings the Upanishads give us that no other book can give. It's not just a bunch of morals and teachings and what to do and what not to do. They actually urge you, beg you, force you, give you the loving care and opening up to go inside and to internalize these truths so that you can make them part of you. So when people think we're separated from the whole, that we're all individual beings. But what broken means and separate means is internally divided. So we always think that we're separated from the whole, but it's not true, because actually what we are now, what we truly are, is not what you see here, but inside of us is our Atma, our spirit, our soul, our consciousness. That is the part of us that can never be broken, divided, or separate from the whole. So even though that piece is inside of us. I don't know if peace would be the right word, but it is actually, we're not separate. We only think we are because we're encased in this body, so to speak. And we've forgotten that we are connected to the whole because of our mind and our identity with ourself, our mind, and our body. We think we've become an individual, a separate being from the source, the whole. So the Upanishads gives us so many different ways and understandings of going inside. Completion. Completion is a very large topic that Swamiji goes in great detail with. Completion is very important. So when we're incomplete, we feel that we are somehow unsettled. We're somehow in suffering. Somehow some hangover has come from our past to disrupt our present time, our present moment, and disrupt the future because it's controlling how we act now. So a past incident is controlling how we react and act now to an incident or happening in our life. And that action obviously will control what is happening in the future. So complete completion means that none of these things are there anymore, that we've completely understood that our past is done with, that we're not actually our past at all, that even in the past, we still had that consciousness, we still had that part of us that is consciousness and part of the source, and in the present, we also have that part of consciousness that is part of the source, that is connected to Sadashivatva. And also in the future, we'll have that also, because that is who we are, as I said. So it's coming to that understanding, and the more we read this and get the clicks in our inner space, the more it becomes an experience in us. Because these words have such a power. The ancient rishis gave such a powerful instructions, or instructions not the right word, but such a powerful revelation. They were so advanced, they were able to download from the Akashic records what actually is there in the cosmos, what is the source. So they were actually able, through deep samadhi, able to pull out that and share it with us. That, in a sort of very basic, rudimentary manner, is the way I can describe the Upanishads and what the rishis did. So basically, it is just the original truth, the source. So that's why I wanted to share it with you, because a lot of people aren't talking about the Upanishads. I know in Hinduism and in India, a lot of people have heard of them, and some people have read them. And then I know in the West, people maybe or maybe not have heard of them. And I actually, before I came to the ashram, I bought some book. I don't have it with me now, but it was a translation of one of the Upanishads. And after Swamiji spoke about those Upanishads, I couldn't believe that I had that book, because I understand how translations of the ancient scriptures can get changed. They can, they're not a pure translation from Sanskrit to English. So there's some people actually that have misinterpreted purposely the ancient Sanskrit texts. And as we go on, I'll share some of those examples with you. Because they wanted to uproot the very foundation of India, of Hinduism. So they wanted to pull out whatever they could, and so they misinterpreted many of the words in the ancient scriptures. It's actually horrible. It's a horrible crime, because it's such a beautiful gift that was given in such a poetry when you hear the words and what they mean. So I just wanted to give an introduction today, what I would like to start talking about with you and sharing with you. See, just to go on with a quote that Swamiji had said about it regarding this past, present, future. I'm going to read one paragraph now, one sentence. Only the Upanishads declare with a clear understanding to experientially complete with your past in the present, future in the present, and present in the present. And when the completion of present in the present happens, past in the present happens, future in the present happens, the complete completion happens. Then not only your future and present, even your past is transformed. So one thing we've been learning about is changing our cognition about ourselves and about life. And the understanding that Swamiji has taught us is how in the past, as a child, a boy or girl, you developed cognitions about yourself and about life. So whatever incidents may have happened, something that's affected you strongly. Usually, unfortunately, the negative things will last with us longer, and we'll develop negative cognitions about ourselves or about life, such as I'm not good enough, or life is cheating me, or people are out to get me, or something like that. Some cognition very deeply settles inside us in that age, and we don't even realize that from that cognition, we are moving out and running our life from there. So even as an adult, you're still carrying that with you. So you'll notice some people who are very much not social, or not even not social, but they don't want to let go of things, or they don't trust people to the point where, they won't even let someone borrow, their pen, or, there's many different people you see like that. They're very closed up and they don't want to share because they feel that something's out there to get them, somebody, something, and you see a lot of these people who even go so far as to come up with all conspiracy theories. And I'm not saying that some of those conspiracy theories are wrong, because many of them are true. But there's some that you get that they want to find things wrong, and they want to, create an issue that isn't there. So we know that there's a lot of conspiracies and a lot of things that we're not told the truth. And why also the conspiracy of changing the words of Sanskrit to misinterpret the meaning of these sacred words has happened. So what we're going to do is I'll go through each by bit. I'm going to come back tomorrow and explain a little more about the Upanishads, what Swamiji says about them, their importance, what does it actually mean, who is the author of the Upanishads, and all those questions I'll answer. So then, after a couple of days, we'll go ahead and start with the Isha Vasya Upanishads. I'd like to thank you for watching today, and I hope you enjoy this journey with my Upanishads made simple for everybody to get introduced to this beautiful sacred text. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and click below. I'll also include a link to I will also put a link that you can see this book, the source book of the Upanishads that Swamiji has written. So it's the introduction to the Upanishads. I'll include that also. You can get started reading that, and I'll also include the very first time when he introduced the Upanishads. That was January 1st, 2015. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Nithyanandam.